33 after the hour, Trent Horn is the guest. The topic is the pro-life arguments. Both sides are welcome to call at 1-888-318-7884. Dan in Houston, Texas, on EWTN's Guadalupe Radio. You are on the air with Trent Horn. Hey, Dan.
Hey, guys.
Hello. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. So had a question. I'm sure you saw the newspaper articles or campaign from Catholics for Choice.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
And some of the responses from Cardinal Dolan and maybe some of the responses from our local bishops down here. I saw that they had issued a response to Cardinal Dolan's response that made several arguments. Don't agree with really any of them, but wanted to just check with you on one of their arguments that was that the Church's teaching on when life begins is not infallible, and they quoted some 1970s. I don't know what it was from the Vatican that basically that was the point when the Church decided that abortion is not a good thing. So
no,
that's their argument. I just wanted to see what the counter to that is, because I was hoping for Dolan to come back, but I think he's kind of done talking to those guys.
Yes. So this is a common and mistaken argument to say that unless something is specially defined in a ecumenical council or in a papal teaching that's ex cathedra, similar to how Pope Pius XII infallibly defined the bodily assumption of Mary, then one, it's not infallible, and two, that there's this idea that the only teachings of the Church that we have to believe in are those that have been specifically and specially infallibly defined, and that's just not the case. That we have to look also at the ordinary teaching of the magisterium, and that universally in the history of the Church, abortion has been universally condemned as a grave sin, all the way back to the Didache in the first century until the modern time. The people at CFC will not find a saint or a doctrine of the Church supporting abortion. Mm-hmm. So you can see that the Church has declared and definitively taught that abortion is a grave evil, and that requires the religious submission of mind and will. I mean, here is just the clear teaching from Evangelium Vitae that requires our assent. Pope St. Paul II said, "By the authority which Christ conferred upon Peter and his successors in communion with the bishops, who on various occasions have condemned abortion, who are dispersed throughout the world, have shown unanimous agreement concerning this doctrine, I declare," he doesn't define it, but he declares that direct abortion always constitute a grave moral disorder. So it's just a ridiculous loophole that Catholics for Choice tries to squeeze out of. That the fact of the matter is the Church has always stood against abortion. It declares it as a grave sin, and it requires the religious submission of mind and will. And aside from that, we know from reason alone that this is wrong. So I would just say, even if you were an atheist, you can know you should not be doing this to unborn children. And so I would love to have a debate with, I think John O'Brien's the president now of Catholics for Choice. Let's have a debate. Let's have a debate on whether Catholics can be pro-choice, can support legal abortion. I mean, you're going to criticize Cardinal Dolan of the back and forth here. If you believe what you believe is true, let's have that and let people see that, because the evidence is spectacularly on our side on this issue.
Yep. So, John, if you're listening, or anyone who's a self-professed Catholic and is pro-choice, Trent Horn will get in front of anyone and debate it in any venue, as long as they pay you have to pay the flight for Trent, right? Unless it's
but I'll waive my honoraria even, because I believe it's so important. It's so important, and that if these individuals will mislead Catholics, mislead them on such an important, grave moral issue to support an evil like abortion, well, bring your arguments forward. Bring forward your best arguments. I'll bring mine. And then we can let an honest, impartial audience can look at both sides and weigh who has the truth and who supports abortion.
I don't see any pro-abortion activists eager to debate pro-lifers. I don't see that.
It's hard. It is hard for me to find. I have had people who have set up these debates. I've had people will agree and then find out I'm going to be debating, and all of a sudden they're busy. I've had Planned Parenthood and abortion providers won't do it. NARAL won't do it anymore.
Yeah.
They just, because they know if they debate, they're going to lose. The best thing they can do is to not let anyone talk about it. So that's why I'm always eager to go out and engage someone in a formal public debate where you can examine the evidence, and when it's done in a dispassionate, fair forum, the pro-life side comes out on top.
Yeah, and Dr. Bernard Nathanson, we add, was one of the co-founders of NARAL, the abortion National Abortion Rights Action League. And he admits, we lied all the time. We lied all the time about the facts.
Oh, yeah.
All right, this is Catholic Answers Live, my new show, The Patrick Coffin Show. You can find out more at patrickcoffin.media. Help me launch it. And with that, we'll take a pause and get with Susanna in Albuquerque, New Mexico.